YouTube, what it do, man? It is your boy Benji. We back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. We checking out Sarah Fontenot, Dr. Sarah Fontenot. You know, she's popular for giving out a lot of relationship advice, so you love it, hate it. At the end of the day, dating is an experience, and I think that there are plenty of perspectives to have when you're talking about things you do and don't like. But she's got Paul Pierce and his co-host Azar on her podcast today talking about, of course, dating. Let's hear it out from a legend, a former NBA legend.
Out. Because that's what I hear.
That's what I hear too.
Okay, so like my definition of cook is different, but in the streets, definition of cooked is like you out the game. You out the game. You on the bench.
Like you washed up.
It's almost time to retire.
We're tired of what, marriage?
When they said I was cooked in basketball, it was time for me to hang it up. It's time for me to I was on the Clippers. I was cooked. I wasn't getting no minutes. I wasn't getting no minutes.
Damn.
I was just on the sideline coaching it up. You know, teaching the next generation. So, you know.
I am not cooked.
You're not. I don't think that she's cooked at all. Beautiful.
So you got to start teaching the next generation so they don't make the same mistakes.
Well, thanks for Thanksgiving. I have a podcast. I can teach y'all to do what I didn't do. Damn, cooked is crazy. I think I'm marinated.
Hey, Paul Pierce is right, man. There's a point in life where you can't jump. There's a point in life where you can't run. Hey, man, you can't move. And you see that the younger folks, they moving a step faster than you. You might have to say, hey, look, it's time for me to hang that jersey up. That's what he's saying about you. It might be a point in time where, hey, the competition is just getting a little too stiff. They're younger, they faster, and they jump higher.
Like that.
I'm seasoned, you know?
Seasoned.
And everyone says I'm good. All my DMs and everything I have is like, Paul thinks you're cooked, but it's okay. I want you. I'm like, listen.
Look, if you let the friend zone down, I bet.
Why'd you throw that out there? Wait, what? Hold on, what?
Paul would take you too.
But it's okay. I want you. I'm like, listen.
Look, if you let the friend zone down, I bet Paul would take you too.
Listen, the friend zone. But marinating, I feel you.
I'm marinating.
See how he didn't even respond to that? look at these women. They're crazy, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you feel like, because you're a beautiful woman, I adore you. You have such a positive, amazing energy. I don't know if they can feel it through the screen, but in person.
I do think that, like, cooked is kind of crazy at 30. Like, I mean, I feel it. But if you see the stats right now, they're just showing us just when a lot more women are starting to settle down. The age is starting to get up there. So I can't say that she's cooked.
And you're like such an amazing person. I've done podcasts with a lot of women, and I love doing a podcast with you because you're considerate. You're so eloquent. Like I adore you, and I think you're amazing.
It's a nice thing, by the way.
I thank you. I do feel like you're not cooked. But let me ask you this question: when you were in your 20s versus now in your 30s, what is the difference? Because for me, in my 20s, I wasn't given. It's giving. I was giving. You know what I mean?
I definitely do.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more in tune with me and myself and my body and even how I look and present myself and everything. Like you're still learning that.
Yes.
You're not putting on the oils and you're not smelling good how you're smelling. You're not like, you don't have that, you know? What do you feel?
I think that why?
What does that even have to do with you find a potential partner? I do agree that you probably learn a lot more about life. With a little bit of life, you do gain wisdom. Like I would assure, at 18 you knew more than you were 8. At 28 you're gonna know more than when you were 18. At 38 you're gonna continue to go through life, and you're gonna have experiences. You can say, I could have handled that better. I could have did that better. And now I know things that I didn't know back then. But I think that no matter what, anybody's gonna have that experience.
Why do I feel like it's better to have me now than then, essentially?
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
So I think because when I was 20-something, I was definitely insecure in my body. It was definitely, lights off. It was definitely pulling my shirt out when I sit down. It was definitely, a lot of physical insecurity. But more than that, when I was in my 20s, it was about me. Like I was ride or die with my person, but I didn't know how to seek the need of my man before he expressed it.
Ooh.
I didn't know how to understand when he's having a bad day. I didn't understand how to even though I tried, I did my best.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've always been a down girlfriend. Like I've always held my man down. I was cooking for him.
Yeah.
I was doing all the things, but even my food is better now.
Same.
You know what I mean? My recipes, I perfected my recipes. Even like the conversations are different, where now it's like when you are in tune with somebody, it's like a look and be like, oh babe, it's time to go. Or like, oh babe, this ain't it. I didn't have the intuition at 20 that I have now. I wasn't able to say, you know what, baby, that might not be a good deal. miserable because I didn't know any better. I was wide-eyed and just excited and bushy-tailed and like, oh my God, everything is awesome. Now I know everything is not awesome. And there are people that are out here trying to seek, kill, and destroy your happiness. And also, I didn't have the relationship with God that I have now. So the level of praying that I do now, the level of favor that I have now because of the integrity that I believe I believe we get A-level blessings according to our A-level integrity with God. And I feel like I'm in integrity, and I've been in integrity this whole time, that now my favor is overfloweth onto my man, you know? And the biggest thing that I think I have now versus my 20s is my relationships. The fact that I can put my man on, even if he's already on, I got something for everything.
Exactly.
What do you need?
You need a doctor's appointment. I got the best doctor.
What do you need? You need a celebrity. You need a back rub. You need a acupuncturist.
Yeah.
Whatever you need. And if I don't know, I know how to figure it out. I know where to go to get the information. So I feel like, you know, I was cool in my 20s. I'm cool. I'm a decent looking chick. Okay, cool. But
You're
like,
beautiful.
Thank you. It's an us thing. What I bring to the table, you can't even see. And then on top of that, I've harnessed my light. Back in the day, it just used to shine everywhere. You know, I didn't know. And then you don't know what happens. If you're in a dark place shining a flashlight and there's vampires around, you're the first one to get picked off. Now, I know how to harness my light. I know how to play second. You know what I mean? Especially as a woman, a lot of women don't know how to play second place. You know, if we go out, you are stunning. You are amazing. I will gladfully and gratefully play second place. If they want an Azar, ooh, I love it. I'm going to talk my girl up like crazy.
Same.
There's zero competition because I know who I am and I love who I am.
Now, a lot of the stuff she was saying was just fluff, but I do agree with this sentiment right here. I mean, I think a lot of people do have a lot of issues internally that they just haven't worked out. And I think that it does present themselves with a lot of these younger people's relationships. I think a lot of older people are still going through the same things because they never actually did the work to ensure that they were better mentally and really had a different outlook on life. Like she's saying, there's probably people that are 40 years old that is just seething with jealousy when they see women that are younger getting more attention than them because you never really worked on yourself.
I am. So there's a lot different for me now. And then I really also know my body. This is the sexiest, the finest I have ever felt in my life. I mean, no makeup. This is lights, camera, action. So it's a little bit different. But when I'm barefaced, my skin is glowing. I had acne when I was in my 20s. My skin is glowing. My body is fit. I am strong. And I know how to work me, you know? So I think there's a lot of differences. I don't know. That was a lot.
That was amazing.
That was a lot to take.
That was a lot.
No, it was good. And I'll tell you what I took. So, you know, I sat here and listened to both of y'all say, what's the difference between you in your 20s and 30s? And you guys used words or sentences like I'm more in tune with my body, or I've learned to, what you say about your light? Harness your light. Well, yeah, of course you're more in tune with your body, you know, because in your 20s when you was throwing it around to all these other men, you didn't know nothing, y'all was being thotty. So now you get into your 30s. Now that y'all in your 30s and your light ain't shining everywhere, now you keeping it in one place because it was everywhere in your 20s. And now y'all at the point of desperation. Y'all know how to do all these damn things.
He's got a point because when people typically talk about they know their body, it's because they've had experiences. I think that you can. Now, I do think that you can learn a lot without actually having to do the thing, but that's funny.
We could.
Now that y'all
You know what though, Paul? I ain't never been a thought a day in my life. Never.
There
I've
you
never
go.
been a whole day in my life.
There you go.
Like, as in, like, promiscuously. I ain't never done that.
Let me say this.
And she could just be talking about she knows her body just in many other avenues. It doesn't have to do with anything sexual, I would assume.
I was a man, and I know that I'm not, right? And I had you, and I had a 23-year-old, right? Cute, whatever.
Yeah.
I would go with you, but I would go with a 23-year-old if I wanted to manipulate her, if I wanted someone naive, if I wanted someone easy, if I wanted someone no opinion, if I wanted someone that I could just be like, girl, boom, if I wanted someone I could play with. I'm not going to play with you.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of people talk about having certain friend groups around you. This is what you're talking about. Now, granted, I think that it's nice that she's got this woman in her ear that's giving her confidence. I think there's a lot of things that right now Dr. Sarah can bring to a relationship. But like, let's take her specifically out of this scenario and just look at her scenario. And let's say she's 35. A 25-year-old versus a 35-year-old. Completely different. Now, I mean, a lot of people are going to talk about, people just throw around words. Throwing around the word manipulation is kind of crazy. I think that you can still be well-minded and well-intentioned and yet say, hey, you might be open to hearing this perspective out. Versus now, you've lived your life, and since you've had these maybe heartbreaks, maybe since you've had these experiences in business, you're going to say, I'm not doing that.
Right? because I know you know yourself.
Time is running out. That's why they not want to be played with. They
There
don't
you
got
go.
time to get played with no more.
There you
That's
go.
the truth. They don't. Y'all ain't got time to play no more.
I don't
Yeah.
agree with that, and I think that for
I agree
me
with that.
personally, like it's hard for me to even be single.
Yeah.
Because like I have people who want to be in relationships, not just have sex with me, not just any of those things. I feel like I'm a woman of value, and I feel like men understand that about me, and it's not coming from a place. I don't operate from a place of desperation, and a lot of people give advice from a place of desperation. I do not. I'm not desperate. I never have been desperate, and I never will be desperate. Because at the end of the day, I know what I bring. I know who I am as a woman, and I understand my value. And a man wanting me is not going to change that. Period. Point blank. So you can make it seem like my worth is determined by a man, but it's not.
Right.
And I hope that young women don't believe that, because you are who you are, regardless of who
Yeah.
wants you. And the moment that you give people that
That's real.
power is the moment that you're gonna feel real bad about yourself. Because when they take it away, you're gonna cry and you're gonna want to die. Never
Yeah.
give people that much power over you. He who controls you, he who makes you mad, he who angers you controls you. Don't
Yeah.
ever let anybody do that. So Paul saying I'm cooked and saying we cook, baby, you can have that. That's cool. It's okay. You ain't about to piss me off. Because
Seems like he stirred the pot.
I'm cooked, but trust me, a lot of people want to have a place.
This is where like, I think, unfortunately, like a lot of the dating talk goes to. I got people in my DMs, they ready. But you're on a podcast right now talking about how you're looking for Mr. Right. So it doesn't, like, you don't really got anybody that you would really drop everything for. What I think is true to everybody. Everybody's got somebody that says, I would. Now, in most scenarios, most people you're like, I could consider it, but it ain't 100% what I want. And I think that there are scenarios where you could say, hey, look, there's things that I need to work on before I even entertain this and that. Because at the end of the day, you can jump into like what looks like the land flowing with milk and honey. But if you aren't prepared to walk into that land, then you might not be able to reap the benefits or pour in on your behalf.
Get into that. They want to eat it, keep it, digest it,
Period.
and
And
be
do it
around
again.
it. Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm sure they'd have no shortage of men that are ready to make it happen right now.
I really do feel like we marinated. Like I don't feel cooked. But I do think that now the caveat to that is I think we are exceptions to the rule.
I do.
And the reason why I say that is because we work on more than just our bodies, because we are women with actual virtues. And in 2025, that's hard to find. That seems like an exception to the rule.
What are you talking about? This is what I'm saying, man. These people get up here and because they have a camera in their face, supposedly now they know what they're talking about. Supposedly now they're above any other level of approach. Ma'am, you just have virality that has offered you the opportunity to have reach, especially if you're talking about social media. You'll be able to walk into rooms now that you probably wouldn't have been able to get into 10 years ago. So now you have way deeper access to a lot of people, or way vaster access to a lot of potential dating partners. But you trying to act as if you're an exception to the rule, ma'am. No matter how much money you made, how much fame you have, you still are the same person that's reiterating the talking points of the quote-unquote birds. You still saying, I'm not dealing with a dude that makes X amount of money. You still saying, my man got to be X, Y, and Z. Nothing wrong with that. But I think there is generalization that happens when people are talking about dating partners. And in general, what are you doing that is outside of that? I mean, yeah, you individually have plenty of great things going for yourself. But if you're only going to look at like the mentality, granted, I don't know these women. But if we just look at it surface level, so the things that you're aspiring for, it doesn't seem like it's much different than what other people are talking about. But I'm going to hear her out.
Okay, so let me ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Since y'all not cooked.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Are y'all red flags?
I'm not.
No.
I mean.
Wow.
What's a red flag? Why would I be a red flag? Because I'm cooked?
No. I mean, I'm saying you got kids?
No.
You been married?
No.
You in your 30s?
Yeah.
Why you do that?
Why is that a red flag?
Because we all know, we looking at y'all. I mean, I'm looking like, damn. Like, if I meet y'all and I'm like, damn, y'all fine. Like, no problem getting a man and all that, pretty smile, elegant, speak, all that. Y'all, I mean, based on what y'all saying, top tier.
Thank you.
So,
what's the problem?
What's the problem?
Okay, I love this question. Should I go or you?
You go.
So, this is the thing. I feel like when you are a woman of substance, you do have a lot of options, but your pool is very small. there are a lot of people that will be interested in you that are not in alignment with you.
I agree with
So
that.
if you start looking at filters of men, right? Men that know themselves, men that know God, men that feel good in their bank account, men that are kind, men that are attentive, men that are good to their families, men that are kind to their mothers, men that all of these different things, whatever the filters are, you have a very small pool.
I agree with that.
So then after you filtered all the way down, you got to think about the people that you're actually in alignment with.
So that's the same thing that everybody's doing. Everybody has similar metrics they're looking for in a partner, that just to get to the surface level of who that person is.
Which one of those people are heterosexual? Which one of those people actually want the same thing that you want in life? And so I don't think that it's a measure of, because I've had, like, I'm going to talk about my past, not right now. I've had incredible dating experiences in the past, right? I've dated some incredible men, really and truly, but they weren't my man because what they wanted from their life wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I want to say this.
Before you go.
Okay.
All right. I heard all the things you said, but like that list of things you want from a man, that's not gotta start getting shorter, because you gotta open your pool up a little more.
Nah, I'd rather be single. I would rather be single because I'm happy. You got to be better than my solitude, Paul.
Okay.
And that's the thing. A lot of women take men because men try to weaponize singleness, and they make you think that you're not valuable anymore because you don't have kids, you've never been married, and you're in your 30s. But the truth is, I say no. Well, in the past, I was saying no all the time. Right? All the time. I say no way more than I ever say yes. But the question is, are the yeses in alignment?
I love that you said they weaponize being single. Because a lot of men will be like, well, you have to. I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
I have to be by myself, and you don't understand how good that feels. Like, you should know, because you've talked about it. It feels amazing. I'm in my bed. I'm chilling. It's only a man who can make me be like, damn. Like, there's very few men in my life that I've been like, I'd rather be with you than be by myself.
Oh, say that.
Yeah.
There's very few men. And if I feel that way, then damn, he got me. Like, that's just it.
Yeah.
If I don't feel that way, I have no business entertaining you.
Yep.
And I will say, based on what you said, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. When I was younger and I didn't care about the things I cared about, I didn't care about my solitude, and I didn't really care about this man's values and this. I cared about, was he handsome? Did he have this few little things? Did we have fun? That's it. Yeah. That's all the qualifications a man needed. And he was over here, and I was like, yeah, we're vibing. I had relationships, long-fledged relationships with men, because it was like, okay, they're handsome, they're providing for me, they're cool, we have somewhat of a vibe, the sex is cool, so whatever, I'll be here, because guess what? Everyone's saying that if you're single, you're not worth nothing, you have to get married, you have to do these things. But like I know, being single can feel wonderful if you love yourself and you like to be alone. Okay. So at the same time, men have to stop saying that to women, because women, just like a lot of men will say they'd rather be alone. But if a woman says it, it's like, oh, because no one wants you, because you're this, because you're that. That's not true.
I think she's saying the truth, but there's an other side of the coin that she doesn't even understand, that she's walked herself into his room. You and Miss Sarah just talked about how y'all have no problem finding men. And then tried to flip it and say, but the men that say that because I'm not in a relationship, man, you're living under that same umbrella. You're living as if that belief still means something, because you decided to bring it up multiple times as if it was something that was important to who you are individually, or how people should look at you in regards to the dating game. Oh, ain't no shortage of men looking at me. There's a lens that you're probably looking at people through the same way. You'd probably look at a dude and say, okay, how is he so and single?
Because a lot of men want us, but do we want y'all?
Yeah.
Do we want to feel like I want to not be alone? Because when I'm alone, I take myself here. I can go to the spa. I can go eat by myself at the park. I can come home. I can chop it with my homegirls all day on the phone. I cannot care about having to get my vagina waxed every other week. I can be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I'm with a man, he gotta be worth it.
Yeah.
You gotta be worth it.
And
that's why I said, if you ever
What
see
is worth
me
it,
with a
though?
man, baby, he is so worth it, because I will never, ever, ever give up my solitude for a man that is not. I promise you that. Not at this age and this stage.
Okay, so like y'all as women, y'all are natural, just like loving, nurturing. Y'all are just naturally, that's just in y'all to just kind of like, grab onto a man just naturally. Whereas a man, we not naturally as like touchy-feely and whole. And when we say we like being single, it's because we love peace.
Yeah.
Like a man will say,
so do we.
Yeah, you like the peace, but at the same time, y'all can be laying in y'all bed and just be, it's cold.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
really.
Like, it's cold in here.
You
like,
think
dang.
that, but that's not true.
Yeah.
Women like peace too, because let me tell you something. You get with a man, he might have children, he might have this going on, he might have another girl that still want him.
That's not what Paul Beers is talking about. He was the most simple illustration of just two people yearning for a sport, or essentially just yearning for some intimacy, or really just yearning for somebody to fill the space. he's probably, what he's alluding to is that you're probably more inclined to look for somebody to just be there when it's quiet at night. Versus the dude's just like, nah, this was quiet now. This is perfect. Now you're going to the extremes. Oh, he got baby mamas. He got that crazy ex. He got all these. Well, no, nobody introduced those things than you. Then Paul Pierce can make the same argument.
So stressful sometimes. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, does he want her still? Does he with me? Is this?
I agree with that. Like I agree that dealing with a partner for both parties is going to introduce new levels of stress, because now you got to think about, oh, my partner's going out to this place. Partner's doing this. You have to think of somebody else other than self. So obviously it's going to be easier to be single than it is going to be dealing with somebody, because you now have to put somebody else's desires to the forefront.
Feeling all these emotions, and you have to feel like when I start to love someone a lot, I get stressed. I get nervous because I'm like, oh my God, this is so risky. This is so tricky. Yeah. I'm so scared because now.
Yeah, that's why it's easier for you to be single, because you don't have to worry about that. You have to put yourself in a vulnerable position. But no matter what, if you're a man or a woman, you have to do that.
It's too far in. Yeah. Like I've looked at a man in his sleep and been like, damn, I'm gone. I'm gone. It's wide open. It's wide open. Everything is done now. It's too far gone. Yeah. Like there's nothing. Now I just got to ride this wave and pray to God that this is going to be cool.
I think that's kind of what Paul Pierce is talking about, though. When you're like cooked at a certain age, is because you have your way, your mindset, and you're saying, I'm not giving that up. You just heard both of these women say, if a dude is not X, Y, and Z, I don't care. I'm single for life. I'm not willing to sacrifice anything. I'm not willing to give up this. I'm not doing it. That's what I think people are referring to when you mention being cooked. I don't think that anybody should go after experiences that they don't yearn for, or they don't find is going to be a productive situation. But I think, again, they're only echoing the sentiments of a lot of other people, and they don't even realize it.
But when you're single, you don't have no one to like be stressed out about, baby. As a woman, you'll be like, whoo. You know, but it feels amazing. Don't get me wrong. When you have that right partner, I mean,
that's the key, right partner.
When you have the right partner, it's the best thing. I would love that. And I'd rather that than be alone any day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it takes that right person. Yeah. Other than that, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so look, pause. I know you're enjoying this episode. I'll be super quick, okay?
Let me hear what they got to say in the comments. Chill out. It says both of y'all are seasoned and cooked. Congrats on the proposal. Who got proposed to? It never ceased to amaze me with women who have all the answers but zero results. If you have the blueprint, why can't you execute? There's disconnect, and I truly believe some people aren't who they think they are. That's a simple analysis from these coaches as a married man of 18 years. Now that's the argument. Definitely need a part 2. That was fire. Thank God that Paul Pierce was on this episode and broke up the female echo chamber that we usually get with critical thought and actual knowledge concerning men. And I think that's something that a lot of people were probably taking for granted. Dude, this is the guy. Now, granted, plenty of people probably going to say his mindset. What, like I said, as you get to know him, then you can determine whether or not. But at the very surface level, Paul Pierce is that dude. He has the fame. He has the fortune. He has the height. You know, that a lot of the people are looking for, at least at the bare minimum, right? Now, obviously, you got to get to know him to determine whether or not he would be the one for you. But this is the dude that a lot of women are looking for, telling you sentiments that probably a lot of dudes would agree with. Men want quantity because the male anatomy was designed to spread its seed. Women want quality. Okay? These women love to talk. Just answer the question. I disagree with Paul on a lot of things, being a more traditional man of God, but him asking if these women are top tier women, which most claim to be. A lot of men that want to wife will make adjustments to make sure that he's on the same time as you. I agree. If you don't get this whole, I don't get this whole, I'll be single, I don't need a man if he's not 10 out of 10. I don't think there is a Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. I think marriage is making it work. Again, I think there's truth to that. And that's why I said something that I would argue is cooked. If the dude is not 10 out of 10, I'm out. Well, then if dude just started saying, hey, if the woman's not 10 out of 10, I'm out, then nobody's going to get anywhere. The most important step in relationships is clarity, knowing what you truly want. When someone is confident, grounded, and brings a lot to the table, beauty, education, emotional maturity, and a strong sense of self, they have the potential to be an incredible partner. But potential only matters if it aligns with intention. Choosing a partner means understanding not what you're looking for, but whether that kind of person is also seeking someone like you. Ooh. And then you also got to connect faith. Nice. Men allow these women to share how their ex-boyfriends frequently contact them after the relationships ended on the spot. Wait, what? They can never say any of their ex-boyfriends asked them to marry them. These women will talk them to buy a dog and die alone as long as the podcast is running. Thank you for your contributions. Paul Pierce was capping. What he say? I gotta watch this whole thing. Y'all have had a lot of worldly relationships with these ultra successful power players running the world, and that's why you're single now. Only the one that knew you before the world has had that person for you, but you got your eyes on the riches of all this world, just like the riches of the Lord. And the Lord was offering us 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness. How big do you want your diamond ring? Because you're not leaving it for generational wealth. If men and women teach their children to only date and have sex when they are adults that can financially support themselves, the situation would get a lot better in the relationships. Teach girls to be house women and boys to be house men for the family. A lot of people believe a girl in her 20s is a better choice because the 30s, they've done a lot, nothing impresses them, they can't be taught much, they've already given their heart to somebody else, body counts more trauma, that becomes attached. Many have more children versus none, and the youthful boom and appearance is gone. Okay. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this one.